Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Golam Samdani Don. As you know, I'm a professional corporate trainer and a host for radio shows, TV shows, and a proud host of Facebook Live, this Be Discovered campaign. Uh, as you all know, this 2020 and 2021 has been so tough for all of us, for content creators, for different communities, for businesses around the world. Last year, we celebrated Eid under the lockdown. We were stuck at home, and this year it's the same. In fact, the COVID cases in Bangladesh is rising like anything. The number of deaths every day is breaking the limits of the last day, right? And things are actually pretty bad down here. So we have to spend another Eid under the lockdown and nowhere to go. As a result, businesses are adopting, they're trying to manage the change, they are trying to move online. In fact, my business, which is primarily the training business, has completely moved to the online medium, right? And I see people, ordering food through apps, ordering their clothes through apps, because even though people are, stuck at home, they would want to buy a new clothes for the Eid. As a result of all of this, Facebook has launched this amazing new campaign called the Be Discovered campaign to help showcase and empower local entrepreneurs like me and the two of the amazing guests that we have today. As because Eid is the biggest shopping season and festival of the year, it is a good time to sort of use digital tools to leverage from the present situation to sort of boost the businesses and continue the momentum to go forward. So, without further ado, let me introduce you the amazing people that we have today with us. So, yes, so we have Nusrat Lopa, who
Hello.
who is the founder of Hur Nusrat. And as you all know, Hur Nusrat is a very popular Facebook page with over 1 million followers. So I can just, do a little calculation and try to figure out her revenue and turnover every month. So hello Nusrat, very nice to have you with us here today.
Thank you so much, Don. So after starting my conversation, I'm let be clear that English is not my regular language. So please consider my
It's
all errors.
it's completely okay. English is not anyone's regular language here, okay? All right. So just chill, relax, okay? And then we have my university friend, the great, the very talented Saria, who is the founder of the Florist. And as you all know, Saria is also an artist. So hi Saria.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on board.
Saria, I'm so happy that you are doing something that you love. You challenged the status quo, you went to the other path, and you are doing something that is so amazing, so creative, and loved by everyone. Even for my wife's birthday, I ordered from the florist. And one thing which is very interesting is that your page has a 5 out of 5 rating, which is just crazy. I don't know how you do it, but this means that the people who follow your page and your customers really love you.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know how we stuck that out for a while, but it actually automatically happened. I'm not sure exactly what happened on social media, but we did have some, I think maybe there were bots before, we got some poor ratings, but suddenly they were all gone. We didn't actually do anything. And then the 5 was there, like all the bot poor ratings were gone. So thank you, Facebook.
Yes, we all need to thank Facebook again and again for the amazing thing Facebook has done for our lives. And speaking of Facebook, we have someone from Facebook, right? Hi, Jordi,
Yeah.
how are you?
Hi, Don. It's good to see you again. Well, I mean,
Thank
it's
you,
my
man.
pleasure to be here with you. I'm sorry for the dark, room. I just started today quarantine, coming back from a trip to Singapore. So I cannot be in my normal environment, but I mean, I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted again to be surrounded by amazing businesses like Nusrat and Saria. I mean, I look forward to learn from their experiences, and yeah, thank you for having me.
No, I mean, for
Thank
people
you
who
so
are
much.
wondering, thank you. I mean, for people who are wondering what does Jordi do in Facebook, he's basically the director of emerging markets, which we call the APAC, right? APAC in of Asia at Facebook. And not only he's a top boss at Facebook, but what I find very interesting about him, and because I've done 2 3 shows before with him as well, I've been following his page on Facebook and also his page on Instagram. He is an artist, so he is very much similar to Saria because he does amazing art, painting, right, and he does music. So I mean, the content he creates is just crazy, and I think he himself, being a content creator, makes it so interesting that he understands the pain other content creators go through and the anticipation other content creators have. You know what I mean? So I think thank you, Jordi, for being with us.
My pleasure.
And and last but not the least, we have Rohan Naroha, who is the Facebook Partner Director for HT2 Pool. As you know, HT2 Pool is the agency who does some of the day-to-day operations on Facebook, and he's been with this digital media line for the last 22 years, and now he's looking into several markets for Facebook on behalf of HT2 Pool, right? Hi Rohan, how are you?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for having me, John. I'm tremendously excited to be to be part of the session today. Sharing the limelight with Nusrat, Saira, and Jordi. And to me, I think the last 15 months has kind of zoomed tremendously. I remember we started our operations in Bangladesh on the 1st of April last year,
Yeah.
and it was right bang in the middle of the lockdown. And I was supposed to fly into Dhaka a week before, and I had to pull back from the airport, and I've actually exhausted 2 visas into Dhaka, and I haven't yet traveled. So I'm just waiting for the next given opportunity to be part of the dynamic experience that is Bangladesh, and looking forward to be part of this session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would like to start with Jordi. So let me talk to Jordi first, and then I'm going to come to all of you. So for all of you, just to know that we are streaming live from 5 different pages. So from Don Samdani page, which is my page, from Saria's page, The Florist, from Nusrat's page, which is Who Nusrat, and from Don Samdani YouTube and LinkedIn also at the same time. 5 pages simultaneously it is going. And a lot of people are watching us right now. I think we have some questions already, which we will definitely answer a bit later. So viewers, whoever is watching, I'm gonna definitely, sort of ask your questions to our esteemed guests today. So do not go anywhere and do not worry. I'll be with you very, very soon. So yes, Jordi, the pandemic situation and everything that is going around the world. I mean, it's just crazy and sad in one way, but it also has given us a lot of learning, right? We all can learn from the experiences. It will be especially helpful for entrepreneurs who are new to business pages, who are new to running business pages online. We hope it will inspire them to reach even greater heights in their respective businesses by leveraging the power of digital platforms. So, would you tell us a little bit more, being an expert in Facebook with your experience, that how can we leverage the power of the different digital platforms that we have?
Well, first of all, I mean, you mentioned already, COVID-19 has been changing our lives in many ways. So not only have been continuously adapting for over a year and a half already to this situation, as people, as doing our normal day-to-day routines, but also I think that the amazing change on businesses has been quite phenomenal. And this is not a change of, an adaptation to what the people calls new normal that will go into whatever was the normal before. I think a lot of what we all acknowledge is that a lot of the changes that businesses have been doing are here to stay and continue evolving. So I think that SMBs are, you just mentioned something about the SMBs in Bangladesh, right? The SMBs are crucial for the economy of Bangladesh. And they contribute to 25% of the total country GDP. And this is huge. So when countries and governments are adapting measures of COVID, there is a parallel line of how people they require to access businesses and how businesses they require to access their clients and to put out the product. And Facebook has been, and other digital platforms, not only Facebook, has been a channel that has been maximizing that interaction during, this year and a half, and we have been seeing this quite dramatically. You were asking me about what are some tips. I mean, first of all, obviously, Facebook has a series of tools that they are available for businesses, and I'm sure that we are going to hear the experiences of the people that are invited and the businesses that are invited today. But obviously, we have Pages, we have the inbox, we have Messenger, we have the what we call conversational commerce, the WhatsApp, the access to tools that allows customers to actually continue being interacting and knowing about their businesses. So the first thing I will always say is, and this is very basic, is just open your Facebook page or your Instagram business profile, or both, even better, right? And then start to establish your digital presence. If you have it already, then obviously maximize your what you were doing in the normal day-to-day as a business. Talk about yourself, talk about your products, put content. And here you were talking about content creation. And I want to demystify that, yes, it's a lot of work, but it's also something that you really need to enjoy because you need to put some time. And I think that when businesses are portraying themselves as genuine, they are natural, they talk about what they do. I mean, I was in Spain recently in a very short trip, and I was talking to a friend of mine. He has a flower shop, and the way that he has been using Instagram is just to every morning talk about their business, about how they supply the fresh flowers, what they do. And that has been boosting actually the business massively. So it's all about establishing that presence, start talking and in a genuine way, and don't think too much about sophistication in content. There's also plenty of tools out there that will allow you to create amazing photos, amazing videos, and to interact with your clients. So that's what I would say. Just start your presence, and if you have your presence, continue talking, continue interacting, tell about your businesses, what you are doing in this particular period of time. It is obviously, as you were mentioning, biggest celebration in Bangladesh. So this is a moment for businesses still, even if it's locked down, to continue talking to people and do the celebration as close, obviously not as we would like to, but definitely as close as possible as we would like to.
Jordi, I just put up your page on the screen just to show people what an amazing artist you are. So like I was saying, you being a content creator, just like all of us, that gives you a sort of very different kind of exposure. And it's not just from, coming from the tech world, but also being creative and, having all the things that, artists go through, the maybe the mood swings or the creative blockage or things like that. Similarly, you are also leveraging the digital platforms to share your art with the world. I get notifications. I know I can say for sure the last notification I had was of a new music that you have created, right? So would you share some tips that is coming from this other side of Jordi, the creative side of Jordi?
Well, I mean, it's exactly the same thing I said to business. I applied to myself. It is
Uh-huh.
it's a little bit tricky, right? Because it's a very different side of me. And I, as an artist, I mean, artists, we are we feel really vulnerable when we are showing our work and we put it out there, right? So then I try to put it in the way I like to be presented myself, and it's just a very direct, very raw. I put the music, I talk about the inspiration, and then the people are reacting. And I have to be honest that without being an expert in the music industry myself, I found that Instagram and Facebook has been helping me to actually
A lot of people,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
interact with people. Currently, I receive in my Instagram and my Facebook more messages of people requesting or information about my music or information about my art. And then one thing I would recommend to everyone is respond. So be there for them. And that is
Yeah.
something that is also tricky. If I was not responding, it loses that opportunity. And definitely I learn from everyone, and I'm enjoying it. Yes, it's hard, it's a lot of work. I do it in the evenings, in the weekends, but then I enjoy it a lot.
Jordi, one thing that we continuously talk about, the content creators, is how we can maximize our reach, right? I mean, there are a lot of conspiracy theories with the algorithm, or things are people talk about all sorts of crazy stuff. So would you give us some, from your expertise, some tips of how we can engage with the customer a little bit more? I know we have talked about this before, but this is a big question, for all content creators, how we can maximize our reach, maximize our engagement with the target audience a bit more.
Yeah, so the people are there and they're using our platform. So with our global customer survey in 2021 that was conducted by Ipsos Public Affairs, they say that in Bangladesh, actually 85% of the people who uses Facebook apps, they think it is a fast way to actually contact the small businesses. And almost 3 out of 4 people who uses Facebook apps have been purchasing a product after seeing it on the app. So the interaction is there. I feel that sometimes is that, and I apply this to myself, right? It's about the people that see it, the content that we create, but not necessarily expecting that everybody will actually interact in the same way we are expecting. So some people will send a comment, or some people will even send you a message. Some people may like the content that we are putting, and some people may love it but still see it and not necessarily interact, and that is perfectly fine. So I'm always saying that people that are using our products as a businesses, they need to get used to use the insights, to actually go into those tools, to read the information and get a proper awareness of the reach. I have to be honest as well that when I am talking, I can talk very briefly about the algorithm question, because this is always in the minds of businesses.
I think it's beneficial for us. Yes.
Yeah. Don,
Yes.
I think it's a great opportunity. So listen, think about Facebook or Instagram as a canvas, a white canvas. When you are connecting, then the application will know, obviously I am the user, and will need to fill that canvas with the information that the application will think that is more relevant for me. Right, and how this relevancy, of the content is created is obviously based on my interactions. So, who are the pages that I really like? Who are the businesses that I'm following? Who are those other artists that I normally like to see? And then, obviously, my family and friends, they are connected with me. I also will get some space in there that is actually filled with the information from my friends, my family, because obviously I am interested. And then there is obviously the space of the advertisers that they are also boosting with advertising their content. And also this is related to what I really like. In theory, I am part of a target group. And if someone thinks, okay, Jordi is an artist and there is a small business that sells, for example, art supplies, they probably will be able to target me, and I will also see that content when I connect to Facebook or Instagram. So this is done in a fraction of a second. So every time that we connect, all is filled in there for me to browse and see and see this content. Now, you think about the millions of businesses out there, millions of pages, the number of pages that I follow, my friends, and now I'm think I'm very lucky because I have more than, I don't know, 2,000 connections on Facebook, and all of these things are obviously competing for the same space. So when we are seeing that oh, my content now is not arriving or not reaching equally than before, it could be all of these aspects of the more and more content is actually competing for the same space. And I think that this is what we need to be considering. But again, there are ways to boost that. One rule: quality of content. Quality of content. Just maybe it's not necessary to put a lot of posts, but think about what you are putting, make it relevant, and make it in a way that that the engagement is going to be liking that content much more. That will boost the reach. It will, the algorithm will think this is a content worth to share even more because the quality is very high. Think about the possibility, if you are a business, the possibility of advertising as well. Our tools, very simple way to actually boost a little bit more, and don't think about a lot of budget. That really is not necessary. But even with organic content, think about the insights. Don't think about the number of likes and comments. Think about how many people are seeing it, and that is also super important.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think what you said is absolutely priceless, and of course, sometimes it might be disappointing that when I put up a post and 35 people liked it, whereas previously 350 people used to like it. But even yesterday, what happened with me? Just yesterday, if you go to my Facebook profile, I've put up a quote because I heard one of my friends saying it, that every single person in your life, you would be meeting that person for the last time. Either you would pass away or that person would pass away. So make every interaction meaningful. So that hit me so hard that I should never misbehave with people. I should always be nice and all that. That hit me so hard. So I put up that as my Facebook status. And I gave, like, on bracket, it's collected. It's not my original quote. And that post has over 1,000 likes and probably 400 shares. If you go to my Facebook right now, you will see it. So that really justifies what you just said, that if the content is good, then people would like it, people would share it, it would go viral. But the content has to be really good. So yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you. And thank you so much, Jordi.
I think I deal with this all the time. I want my post also to be seen by millions of people. Why not? That would be awesome, right? But I also understand that there are elements of who is connected with me. How can I boost the people that are potentially interested? So I continue building my community, and then believe me, I'm not that bothered about the number, because when I look at people that have been seeing it, the number of likes or the number of comments, it comes into aspect that sometimes you don't understand. I'm always giving this is very personal. When I do a painting exhibition, I have my favorite painting, the one that I think everybody will love it because I love it, and I think it's going to be the best one in the show. Well, the first one selling is the one that I'm not that keen, and the one that is my favorite never sells. Never. And this is how humans are. We don't necessarily understand how the people are. When you were thinking, oh, this post is going to be amazing, and then suddenly it doesn't go as you were thinking, and then suddenly another one where maybe you were more relaxed, more spontaneous. You put about something that is much more, close, and the people feel you are more approachable. Boom! It gets a lot of traction. Learn from all of these, and try to use those insights. Now, don't know what you need to be posting to get those 1,000 likes and 400 shares.
Yes.
you know how you can continue from now.
Yes, and also the timing, because the post is so emotional. I put it up at late night, and then I saw a lot of people being very affected because at night they would sit alone and think of all these things. The people that are dying all around us due to COVID. So I think that really hit the time, the relevance, the content, everything.
Now, you are very strategic. That is what I like. Now you can do a master class about how to be a strategic posting at Facebook. That's the thing. You learn and you apply those learnings.
Thank you. No, Jordi, I mean, you were speaking about millions a while ago, right? You would also want your post to be seen by millions. Speaking of millions, I would really like to go to our SME business owner. One of them, we'll start with Nusrat Lopa, and then come to Saria. Nusrat Lopa actually has 1 million follower, which we don't have, huh? But she has 1 million follower, and it is absolutely crazy that Nusrat আপু আপনার আমাকে বলতেই হবে যে আপনার ডেফিনেটলি কোনো একটা সিক্রেট আছে, হ্যাঁ, ইউ ডেফিনেটলি হ্যাভ আ সিক্রেট। তো এই সিক্রেটটা আমাদের সাথে একটু শেয়ার করতে হবে যে কি করলে 1 মিলিয়ন ফলোয়ার আমরা পাইতে পারি। প্লিজ টিচ আস, আমাদেরকে একটু শেখান সিক্রেটটা কি।
এরকম যদি সিক্রেট বলতে হয় তাহলে জনকে নুসরাত একটা লোপা হতে হবে, আর হচ্ছে একটু সুন্দর হইতে হবে, আর কি একটু স্মার্ট হইতে হবে, তাহলে
সুন্দর
না
আমি কি সুন্দর
আমার মতো সুন্দর হইতে হবে আর কি।
আচ্ছা, তো চুল একটু লম্বা করতে হবে। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। জোকস অ্যাপার্ট, নুসরাত আপু, আমি আসলে আপনার প্রতি অনেক ভালোবাসা।
আসলে কি এটা তো একদিনে হয়নি, সত্যি কথা বলতে এটা অনেক লং একটা টাইমের ব্যাপার। এন্ড এটা হচ্ছে যে ধরো তোমার 7 বছর ধরে আমি বিজনেসটা করছি, এবং 11 জন লাইক থেকে আসলে 1 মিলিয়ন, এটা আসলে কতটা কঠিন একটা জার্নি আমার মনে হয় তুমি বুঝতে পারবে। কারণ হচ্ছে যে প্রতিটা লাইক কিন্তু এক একটা মানুষ, এক একটা হচ্ছে যে বায়ার আমাদের, তাই না? প্রতিটা লাইক আমাদের জন্য ইম্পর্টেন্ট। তো এই জার্নিটা আসলে আমাদের জন্য মোটেও সহজ ছিল না, অনেক বেশি কঠিন ছিল, এবং আমার জন্য বিশেষ করে। কারণ প্রথম কথা হচ্ছে আমরা তো মেয়ে, এবং আমাদের বাংলাদেশের সমাজ ব্যবস্থা এখনো সেই ভাইয়ার
I have fans as well, হ্যাঁ, আনফরচুনেটলি যদিও ছিলে, বাট ইটস ওকে।
ওকে ঠিক আছে, আমরা বুঝতে পেরেছি। কিন্তু একটা মেয়ে যদি এই কমেন্টসটা করতে তাহলে আমি হচ্ছে অ্যাপ্রিশিয়েট করতাম আর কি, বেশি আর কি, যদি এই কথাটা একটা মেয়ে বলতো আর কি। এনিওয়েজ, তো আসলে এই জার্নিটা খুব সহজ ছিল না। আমি জানি না জর্ডি আর রোহান আমার কথা বুঝতে পারছি কিনা, বা ওদেরকে বোঝানোর জন্য কেউ আছে কিনা।
আমি ওদেরকে ট্রান্সলেট করে দিব সামারিটা। আই উইল ট্রান্সলেট দ্য সামারি ফর দ্যাট।
সো এটা 7 বছরের একটা ব্যাপার, এবং আমি তো শুরু করেছি আসলে 7 বছর আগে, এবং 1200 টাকা মাত্র আমার ইনভেস্টমেন্ট ছিল, মাত্র 1200 টাকা যে আমার হচ্ছে যে ইনভেস্টমেন্ট ছিল। সো 1200 টাকা থেকে এখন আমার ধরো আমার যেই ক্যাপিটাল আছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে লাইক নিয়ার অ্যাবাউট 1 crore, এবং হচ্ছে আমার মান্থলি ধরো আমার ইয়ারলি টার্নওভার হয় হচ্ছে 4.5 কোটি টাকার মতন। তো 4.5 crore আমার ইয়ারলি টার্নওভার। সো ইটস লাইক যে অনেক অনেক কতটুকু পরিশ্রমের পরে, কতটুকু হার্ড ওয়ার্কের পরে আফটার যে আমি এই রেজাল্টটা পেয়েছি। আর আমি হচ্ছে এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশনে আসলে সত্যি কথা বলতে অনেকেই বসে গেছে, অনেকেই হাল ছেড়ে দিয়েছে, অনেকে গিভ আপ করেছে কোভিডে, যে আমরা কাজ করব না, বা আমরা হচ্ছে যে এখানে আসলে কিছু হবে না। কিন্তু আমি এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশনকেই আমি আসলে পিক করেছি, যে এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশনটা লাইক হচ্ছে যে আমার মোক্ষম সময়, যে আমি অনলাইনকে আমি হচ্ছে সবার সামনে হচ্ছে গ্রহণযোগ্য করব। কারণ অনলাইনে যে বিশ্বস্ততা এখনই আমাকে সবার কাছে গ্রহণযোগ্য করাতে হবে। আমি একদিনও বসেছিলাম না, 15 দিনের মাথায় আমি গত কোভিডে জয়েন করেছি, এবং সবার কাছে আমি এটাই প্রকাশ করেছি যে অনলাইনে আমরা সেফলি যদি আমরা প্রোডাক্টটা কিনি, আমরা কোভিড থেকে বাঁচবো, আমরা হচ্ছে ক্রাউড থেকে বাঁচবো, এবং হচ্ছে আমরা সুস্থ নিরাপদভাবে আমরা একটা প্রোডাক্টও কিনতে পারবো, এবং হচ্ছে আমরা সুস্থও থাকতে পারবো। এই জিনিসগুলো আমি এই ট্রিক্সগুলো অ্যাপ্লাই করে আসলে আমার কোভিডে আমার সেল অন্যান্য তুলনার চেয়ে সবচেয়ে বেশি ভালো ছিল। সো আমি এই জন্যই বলবো যে আসলে আমরা একটা জিনিস যখন আমরা ফেলিওর করি তখন বসে থাকতে হয় না, আমাদের আরেকটা জিনিস আমরা এটাকে কিভাবে আরেকটা হবে। যেমন আমার যদি একদিন সেল কম থাকে, ধরো ডন আমার একদিন হচ্ছে আমার হয়তো 10টা ডেলিভারি গেল, তখন আমি চিন্তা করি কি আমার গত দিন গেল 100টা, আজকে কেন 10টা, আগামীকাল আবার 100টাতে কিভাবে ফিরে যেতে হবে, সেজন্য আমি নতুন একটা কিছু অ্যাপ্লাই করি, নতুন একটা ট্রিক্স ফেলি।
হ্যাঁ, সো হচ্ছে হতে পারে সেটা কোনো একটা 10% ডিসকাউন্ট হতে পারে, সেটা হচ্ছে নতুন একটা প্রোডাক্টের যে কোনো কিছু এনিথিং। সো বা লাইভের একটা কিছু একটা চেঞ্জ করি। সো এই জিনিসগুলো যদি আমরা অ্যাপ্লাই করি, আমার মনে হয় আমরা সবাই এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশনে অনলাইনই একমাত্র নির্ভরযোগ্য জায়গা এবং এটাকে স্ট্যাবলিশ করার মোক্ষম সময়। এটা তো মানে অনলাইনের জয় জয়কার। সো এখানে তো অনলাইন আমাদেরই জয় জয়কার, আমাদের রাজত্ব। সো এটাকে গ্র্যাব করতে হবে আমার মনে হয়।
আমি একটু নুসরাত, আমি কি একটু জানতে পারি কিছু এই ট্রিক্স গুলোর কথা, যেমন বলা হলো যে ফ্ল্যাশ সেল দেওয়া বা লাইফটা একটু পরিবর্তন করা, এ ধরনের কি কি ট্রিক্স না আসলে মানে হ্যাকস আমরা
আমি ঠিক ট্রিক্স আমি বলি না, আমি এটাকে বলি কি যে ধরো তোমার আজকে ধরো আমার লাইক আমি যখন কোভিডে আমার ফার্স্ট ইয়ার কোভিড সিচুয়েশন আমাদের কি ছিল, আমাদের ফাল্গুন ছিল, কিন্তু তোমার মনে পড়ে কিনা আমাদের জানি না। আমরা কিন্তু অলরেডি ফাল্গুন এবং পরে ফাল্গুনের 1 মাস পরে আমাদের বৈশাখ, দুটো সিজনের জন্য আমরা স্টক করে ফেলেছিলাম 5,000 শাড়ি বৈশাখে। ক্যান ইউ ইমাজিন? আমাদের 5,000 শাড়ি স্টকে, আমাদের তো মাথা খারাপ হয়ে গেছে যে 5,000 শাড়ি আমাদের স্টকে, আমরা এখন কি করব? আমি সেই কোভিডে অফিসে সকালবেলা যেতাম, কিন্তু আমি রোজা পড়েছিল, আমি সারা রাত ধরে আমি যেটা করতাম যে ছবি তুলতাম, এবং ছবি তুলে আমি নিজে শাড়ি পরে ছবি তুলে, যেটা আমি আমার প্রেজেন্টেশনটা ডিফারেন্ট করেছি, হচ্ছে যে আমি শাড়ি পরে ছবি তুলেছি। এবং তখন আমাদের পেজে কোনো প্রমোশন চলছিল না, উইদাউট এনি প্রমোশন আমার এক একটা পোস্টে 10,000, 20,000, 15,000ও লাইক পড়তো। সো এটা মানে হয় কি যে আসলে আমাদের মানসিকতার উপর অনেকটা কিছু ডিপেন্ড করে, মেন্টালিটির উপর ডিপেন্ড করে, ক্লায়েন্টের মেন্টালিটি, ওরা কি চাচ্ছে আসলে সেই হিসেবে যদি নিজেকে প্রেজেন্ট করা যায়। যে এখন হচ্ছে যে চাচ্ছে আমাকে লাইক হচ্ছে আমরা যেটা করি, ধরো একটা ছোট্ট এক্সাম্পল দিলে হয়তো বোঝানো যাবে যে ডন তোমাকে, যে আমাদেরকে আমরা বিজনেস করছি, আমরা বিজনেস এন্টারপ্রেনার, কিন্তু আমাদেরকে ফিটনেসের দিকে খেয়াল রাখতে হচ্ছে, আমরা ফিট থাকতে হচ্ছে, কারণ আমাদেরকে নিজেকে প্রেজেন্ট করতে হবে। আমরা যদি শাড়িটা পরে যদি আমাদেরকে সুন্দর না লাগে, তাহলে আসলে আমাদের বায়াররা আমাদের থেকে কিনবে না। সো এই যে মানে কোথা থেকে কোথায় যে আমরা সেলার, কিন্তু আমরা নিজে ফিট থাকতে হচ্ছে। তো ব্যাপারগুলো না অনেক ওয়াইড। সো সবকিছু মিলিয়ে হচ্ছে সাকসেস। তো অনেক কিছুই আমাদেরকে স্ট্রংলি হ্যান্ডেল করতে হয়, মেনটেন করতে হয়। সাকসেস এত সহজ না। 1 মিলিয়ন পিপল, এটা আসলে ছোট কোনো নাম্বার না, এটা অনেক বড় একটা নাম্বার। সো আমি কিছুদিন যাবত আমার প্রমোশন অফ রেখেছি, কারণ আমার স্বপ্ন ছিল যে 1 মিলিয়ন নিয়ে অনেক বড় একটা প্রোগ্রাম করব, বাট সেটা বোধহয় এখন হচ্ছে না। কিন্তু এখন আমার সেটা টেনে নিয়ে যেতে হবে খুব শীঘ্রই ইনশাল্লাহ। তোমরা 1 মিলিয়ন একদম হচ্ছে যে ঠিক 1M এই জিনিসটা আমার হচ্ছে পেজে দেখতে পারবা, এবং সেটার জন্য সবার কাছে অবশ্যই দোয়া চাই।
না, I mean, if we look at some of these pictures, ফিটনেস এর কথা বলা হলো, ফিটনেস ভালোই চলছে যা বোঝা যাচ্ছে। The pictures are beautiful, the collection is beautiful, you look beautiful, and I think the most attractive part about you is your drive. হ্যাঁ, আপনার মধ্যে যে ড্রাইভটা,
আমার পেজে ধরো একটা আমাদের দেশে কি সাধারণ পিপলরা একদম নর্মাল জেনারেল পিপলরা ওরা দেখতে চায় কি আমাকে পড়লে কেমন লাগবে। হ্যাঁ, একটা মডেলের পিকচার, বা আমরা যখন ব্র্যান্ডিং করি আমরা মডেলকে আনি, অনেক বড় মডেলকে আনি অনেক টাকা খরচ করে, কিন্তু সেখান থেকে আমার কোনো সেলই হয় না। আমার যে সেলটা আসে মূলত সেটা হচ্ছে আমি যখন এই স্পেসটাতে দাঁড়িয়ে আমি ছবি দিই, ঠিক
এই ছবিগুলো
আমার সেলটা আসে। এক্স্যাক্টলি। সো যে সেই জায়গা থেকেই আমার সেলটা আসে, এবং আমার ছবি না দিলে সেলটা ওরা কেউ বুঝে না, ওরা বুঝতে পারে না, কারণ ওরা সবাই সাধারণ মানুষ। ওরা দেখতে চায় যে আমাকে আসলে এই শাড়িটা পরলে কেমন লাগবে, আমার তো নুসরাত আপু কেমন লাগছে, সো আমাকে ওরকম লাগবে। ব্যাপারটা ঠিক এরকম দাঁড়ায়, ওরা আমাকে দেখতে বেশি পছন্দ করে। আর সবচেয়ে বড় কথা যে ওনার আর যখন বায়ারের একটা রিলেশন যখন আসলে সরাসরি যখন ওরা আমার সাথে কানেক্ট করতে পারে এবং আমাকে চেনে, আমাকে দেখে, আমাকে বোঝে, আমার অনেক কিছু জানে, তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু ওদের বিশ্বাসের ট্রাস্টের জায়গাটা অনেক বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট এবং অনেক অন্যরকম হয়ে যায়। তো সেই জায়গাটাই আসলে আমি পিক করেছি। যখন তুমি খেয়াল করবা খুব কম ওনারই কিন্তু নিজেকে এভাবে করে প্রেজেন্ট করতে পারে, বা কম ওনারই কিন্তু শো করে। হ্যাঁ, নিজের প্রোডাক্ট নিজে লঞ্চ করা, নিজের ওন প্রোডাক্ট নিজে প্রেজেন্ট করা, নিজের ওন প্রোডাক্ট নিজে হচ্ছে প্রমোট করা, এটা কিন্তু অনেকগুলো পেজে হয় না, পারে না, বা ওই ইয়াটা নাই ওনাদের, বা ওই কনফিডেন্ট নিয়ে ওনারা পারে না হয়তো বা, কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় এটা করা উচিত, কারণ এটা যখন করবে ওদের ট্রাস্ট লেভেলটা বাড়ে, তারপর হচ্ছে যে ওরা ওরা হচ্ছে যে হয় অ্যাট্রাক্টিভ, মানে অ্যাট্রাক্ট হয় যে না আমাকে এই পেজটা বিশ্বস্ত এবং আমাকে আসলে কেমন লাগবে। মডেলরা তো সবসময় সুন্দর এবং তাদেরকে সবসময় আর্টিফিশিয়ালি মনে করে, তো বাট একজন ওনারকে যখন চেনে তখন তাদের ভালোবাসার জায়গা, আস্থার জায়গা, বিশ্বাসের জায়গা এবং ওই ইয়াটা অনেক বেড়ে যায়। সো সেই জিনিসগুলোই আমি আসলে সবসময় এগুলো গ্র্যাব করি এবং এগুলোই অ্যাপ্লাই করি।
No, thank you. I mean, listen, what you have done is just amazing. And let me just very quickly sort of summarize what you said so that Jordi and Rohan can understand. She started with, only a few thousand taka, and now she turns over 40 million taka a year, 4 crores, which is crazy. And we should not call her maybe a small entrepreneur. We should call her a large entrepreneur. She has inspired a lot of ladies. As you can see on the comment section, they were praising about her work, beauty with brains and this and that. She was talking about her struggles, her focus on her work. If one day the sale is low, the next day she would give some offers, some discounts, do some changes in her life. And she has found a distinct thing for her business, a distinct strategy, as you may say. She would put up her clothes on herself and pose as the model herself, because she tried to do it with professional models before, but then once she started to pose her, wearing the clothes herself, the sales went up. She thinks it's because ordinary people see her as one of them, right, and not like a tall skinny model who they don't look like, they can't relate with, and her sales went up. So I think that's a very interesting insight for all of us to sort of think about. And thank you so much, Nusrat Lopa. And speaking of passion and sacrifice, she was also saying that she has to maintain her body as well, do diet and all that, because she needs to look good on the screen. So, talking about sacrifices, let me move on to my friend, the great Saria of The Florist. And, as I told you guys before, that I know her from our university days. We actually went to the same university, studied the same subject called Media Studies and Communication, right? And we were both students of that university. And so I always knew she wants to move into advertising, which she did. So Saria, my question to you is that one fine day I see you're baking cakes. And you left your job. How did that happen? Tell us that story, and why did that happen?
Basically, it happened on a whim. I was working in advertising full time, and I'd always been working, I think, since uni. So I think when I was around 24-ish and I had a really good job in advertising, I was people said, if you got your master's, and this time if you did it in advertising, you could push your career further. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And then I thought, I was in Singapore vacationing, and then I actually could have dessert only one day a week because I was trying to drop some weight, like Nusrat, I'm trying to drop some weight. I'd have dessert once a week, and then the dessert I'd eyed the dessert the whole week, and then I picked it, and it was so bad, and I was so disappointed. And then it was suggested to me, like, if you have such a strong opinion about being, about pastry, then maybe you should be a chef. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll be a chef, screw it. So I came home, I started applying to schools in London, and then I told everyone that I'm quitting and I'm switching careers. And being a chef in our country now, maybe it's a little more accepted, but I think back this is in 2011. Yeah, I remember my boss, who I really love, but she was just like, "You're going to London to be a maid," and I'm like, "That's not really a profession. That's a hard-working profession. What's wrong with being a maid? And also, I'm actually going to be a chef." But that's what happened. I went to London. I went to Le Cordon Bleu, and I graduated as a pastry chef. And then I came back, and I was supposed to leave again, which is why I never really opted for a restaurant. But what I really thought was, people really struggle with baking here. So I actually wanted to open a blog. So I actually launched The Florist as a blog so people could bake better. But then a lot of people kept telling me, like, do you want to take some orders? We want to give you money, bake for us. And I was like, I'm a chef. I'm sitting on my butt, and I might as well use the word. And so I figured, all right. So I started taking orders, and I think that was in February 2013. That's when I started. Yeah, that's when I launched the flowers to the business.
If I'm looking at all these cakes and all the guys are seeing this, right? This is just amazing. And like I said at the introduction, that Saria is also an artist, right? Similar to Jordi, she has these big canvases, and I'm seeing her now doing the wall of the most popular coffee shop in Bangladesh. She's now decorating the interior. So, she's of that sort, right? So how do you balance this, the balance between the art and baking, and how are you sort of use this? You learn from each other, right? From the two different sides of you. How do you gain advantage from that?
I honestly think it's like having two different personalities, because I can't switch off business mode and then like start to paint a piece. That just doesn't happen. So I don't actually paint very frequently. I have to space out. But if I get into something, I make sure I have no cake work on the background distracting me. I really struggled to balance two careers because I wanted to do both. I want to do both. So what happened was, I just want to actually go back to like this discussion about Corona. It's been so hard. And of course, we're nowhere close to Nusrat Appu with 1 million followers. We're nowhere there. But we're a very small little cake studio that caters to very specific clients. And when it comes to advertising online, because we actually only specifically advertise online, we run on that, on Facebook and Instagram, and our website's coming up as well. But what's happening is, we realize like if we give offers to our clients, to this niche public, they actually don't care for offers. They're not looking for a price cut. They're looking for premium. So, like Nusrat says, thank God I don't have to lose weight to do this. I just need to put up photos of nice looking cakes. As long as the cakes look good, I'm okay. So understanding Corona and understanding how we can adapt to a very niche clientele in the city was really difficult. We actually we have a very specific kind of product. So like Jordi said, I thought about the product, I thought about what do the clients want, and it's just that they want the cakes delivered to them because of Corona. So that's what we started. We started our internal delivery system last year just to help push sales. Definitely the kind of offers that we did put out, they didn't really work so much. So I actually never thought that my business is good for like price cuts, like 15% off, 10% off. People don't care. If they want a bespoke cake, they'll pay for it, basically. So then what I started doing was, because we usually do a giveaway like every couple of months, right? So that's one of our tactics that we apply. But this time I thought, because we moved to a new studio and I had to open a new location on Google, and I wanted to push my sales there as well. So I told them, if you want, this is the giveaway. One of the clauses is you have to give us a Google review. And we got a lot of Google reviews, which was great. And the same applies on Facebook. So these are like little tactics I think most companies, especially food companies, I think they would have, go for. Other ones we've tried is definitely pairing up with a couple of influencers, but they're more like food bloggers, and they're also bloggers that I trust personally. And so I've reached out to them, and they've like done little bits and pieces for me, like reviewed honest food, etc., etc.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching this, I would like to tell that I've tasted all of the Saria's different cakes, her cupcakes. The designs are
খারাপ হয়ে গেল ডন, তুমি খেয়েছো আমরা খেলাম না, এটা তো হলো না।
না মানে আমি তো
you just have to go live with the cake.
Why only Don? Why not Jody? Why not me, and why not Rohan?
I will send you all. Just go live with it.
হ্যাঁ সারিয়া, আমাকে অন্তত পাঠাও, মানে আমি লাইভে গেলে যাবো, আর নুসরাত আপু লাইভে গেলে তো বাস হয়ে গেল। আমাদেরকে অবশ্যই একটু পাঠাও। থ্যাংক ইউ। আমি আবার তোমার এখানে ব্যাক করার চেষ্টা করছি। Thank you so much. We have Rohan sitting here for a very long time. And so I think we must give Rohan some of the floor, and Rohan can tell us a lot of things based on his experience. Rohan, small businesses like us really took a lot of hit, right? Me being a trainer, I'm teaching people how to manage change, so I could manage the change well myself. Moved online and did a lot of maneuvering a lot of things so that I could survive. But what's your advice for small businesses? Why is it important to support local businesses, and how is your organization, the HTT People, helping Bangladeshi entrepreneurs survive and grow in this pandemic?
So, John, I think you shouldn't be asking me that question, right? You actually have Nusrat Apu and Saria Apu actually as perfect example of how I would say small entrepreneurs have actually adapted to the situation and have made it a success story by themselves, right? And in fact, I think I was actually preparing for the session earlier this afternoon, and I think there were 5 points that both Saria Apu and Nusrat Apu actually have mentioned through their conversation today, and actually have resonated. And I'm happy to kind of put that down as like 5 key points. I think what Nusrat Apu said was very, very important, and so was what Saria said. Was remember that you are a brand, right? That's one of the biggest tips to how you actually survive this whole situation. And I think Nusrat Apu's living that. She is a brand by herself. So it's not about, I don't think at the end of the day, it's not just about the million followers or the 4.5 crore taka that she puts in as revenue, but she stands alone as brand. And I think the reason that we all pull over to Saria Apu's cakes as well, that's the whole stance, right? Because they stand for what they are. I think the second important thing is they've taken control of creative, right? I mean, if Nusrat Apu can actually go out and actually model our own range of sarees, that's taking creative control. And I'll tell you today what the two ladies have actually accomplished is what today some of the large brands that we're working with are actually struggling. And even for ourselves, we always talk about the importance of content and creative, and they've actually taken that head on, and you can actually see the content, right? And those were two key aspects. There were 3 other points that I actually made out, and I said, I don't need to speak anymore because that kind of covers everything. The third important thing was mobile. A lot of their content is probably shot professionally. I would probably think so, but it's so it's so adaptable to the mobile screen. Today, we have about 160 million mobile connections in Bangladesh, probably 50% or more on smartphones. We've actually changed. I don't think anyone really uses desktops anymore. So the whole connectivity with vertical screen, with mobile devices, and using mobile to swipe left, right, up and down to make that final purchase decision. And I think those are pretty important. And there were a couple of things that even Nusrat Apu mentioned, making it easy for consumers to get in touch with her. So there were times when she mentioned that when sales were down, offered a few discounts. And then on the other side, we have Saria Apu said she doesn't need to offer a discount, but it's already selling on premium. But the ability for her to connect with her customers is another superb example of what the entrepreneurs are also doing. And there was somewhere that Saria Apu also said about trying Facebook ads, right? I mean, I am an ad sales guy. I am going to push somebody to sell, to buy ads. But on this particular situation, I think using Facebook ads to kind of try and widen your audience base is a great opportunity. You don't need to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, but if you get that relevant audiences right, it definitely will impact your business. So why do we therefore need to support the SMEs? And I think the two ladies today, Nusrat Apu and Saria Apu, are prime examples of why we need to go out and support them. As HTT Pool today, in Bangladesh, we work with a wide roster of advertisers and brands. And I'm very happy to say that a big cluster of our advertisers are actually SMEs, just like that. Small retailers selling anywhere from clothes to sports shoes to mobile accessories. And I think where we've actually stepped in to help them is, yeah, I mean, there are the whole logistics issues of ad accounts and stuff, but I think two of the larger values that we've actually brought about is helping them, improve on how they can communicate with their audiences. And also importantly, understanding and navigating the whole ecosystem that is Facebook. So what are the pluses that they should follow? What are the good things that they should do? What are the negatives that they should stay away from? And I think in the last 15 months, right, I don't think I've even gone out and said, you need to spend $300 today. I think that conversation has never come up. And I think that's the main reason of support that we've kind of trying to bring into to the SME space in Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. It is coming up, and it is the biggest season of the year. We are under lockdown, but now things have opened up, and again we'll be getting into a lockdown after it. What are the different types of spending habits you're seeing with the consumers, with the different brands, with the different businesses? You are muted. You're in mute. I'll unmute you. Yes.
So, it's extremely unfortunate that we have to face these lockdowns just before the festivals, and it's probably impacting a lot of businesses as well as families. But I think this whole new post-COVID shopping ecosystem has changed forever, right? It's not going to go back to the old days ever again, and I think that's something that we've seen. Now you may debate and say, our shopping malls, our marketplaces are still crowded, but I think what's coming out, and that will continue to be, but I think there are a few key aspects that are now standing out in terms of new shopping trends. I think one of the biggest one, is safer shopping, right? I mean, the fear of going out is top of mind, and therefore contactless shopping is becoming the new consumer mantra, right? And this is also from my personal experience. Our groceries, our Modi's Dukans are all on our WhatsApp lines. I think today they not only accept our grocery list on WhatsApp, I think they're also ready to accept payments from us electronically. So that's a big thing that we're seeing. A lot of e-commerce sites today are moving into what we call discovery shopping. It's where the product actually finds you rather than you searching for the product. And I'll give you a good example. I had to actually search for a birthday gift for a friend of mine, and I found some unique short glasses on one of the e-commerce sites, and I never expected to find them, right? And they're actually perfect short glasses because they actually resemble revolvers, so revolver shots, everything. You shoot yourself till you get drunk. So the whole concept of how brands are using technology today to ensure that products are actually searching for consumers. That's the second big thing. I think the third one doesn't need any further discussion. It's all about mobile shopping. Mobile shopping has made it all about convenience. It's made it about personalization. It's also made it about filters. Websites today with poor filters are going to have a huge amount of abandoned shopping carts, because at the end of the day, I don't think we have more than 5 minutes to search what we're looking for. I don't think we're going to spend 30 minutes to search for a specific pair of shoes. And then the ability for delivery. I don't think you and me are going to be waiting 14 days for something to be delivered to us. I think today we want it done probably in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So these are some of the big trends that I'm seeing. And one thing that's really standing out for me is the concept of loyalty, whether it be with a brand or whether it be with an e-commerce site, loyalty is now being defined on how seamless or how easy we're going to make that shopping experience, right? So be it for Saria Apu, for example, if I am looking out to buy that Chelsea cake for a fellow footballer friend of mine, I would like to see it somewhere in the first 2 pages itself, right? I may not be able to drill down into like page 5, or maybe to Nusrat Apu if somebody has to gift a specific kind of a sari, if that's available easy with the minimum amount of clicks to get that purchase. I think that's been the biggest change when it comes to e-shopping. So yeah, you're going to see the crowds. You'll probably see them at the shopping mall and marketplace for the next few years. But these changes, these intrinsic changes to shopping are already underway. You're actually talking to a generation that will probably not visit a physical store probably in the next couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in my office as well, whenever we are talking about, anything that, hey, we need to buy plates, I see one of my guys looking online. Immediately, and I'm like, you want to buy plates online? Even I feel I am backdated. You know what I mean? The way they buy stuff and the way they look into the mobile for everything, literally for plates. I mean, that's just crazy. Thank you so much, all of you guys. I think
আমার
the
যেটা
discussion.
মনে হয় কি জানো, আমি একটা কথা শেয়ার করতে চাই, সেটা হচ্ছে আমার যেটা মনে হয় যে আলটিমেটলি সবাইকে কিন্তু অনলাইনে আসতেই হবে। টুডে অর টুমরো সবাইকে, ইচ অ্যান্ড এভরি পারসন, বড় বড় ব্র্যান্ডগুলোকে অবশ্যই অনলাইনে আসতে হবে। কারণ তাদের যে এখন যে অবস্থা, এই কোভিড সিচুয়েশন কখন আমাদের শেষ হয়, কখন আমরা আবার আগে সিচুয়েশনে ফিরে যাই, কেউ কিন্তু জানি না। কতদিন আমাদেরকে এটা টানতে হবে? আমরা কিভাবে করে বসে থাকবো? বড় বড় ব্র্যান্ডগুলো কিভাবে শেষ হয়ে যাবে? মোটেও না। সো আমি সবাইকে বলি এই জন্য যে এই জিনিসটা তুমি মানে এটা আমাদের মেনেই নিতে হবে। আগে যেমন অনলাইন সবাই মানে একটু ডাউন ফিল করতো, এখন সেই অনলাইনে তাদেরকে ফিরে আসতে হবে এবং অনলাইনেই তারা এস্টাবলিশ হতে হবে। এই মানে তাদের সবাইকে, বড় বড় ব্র্যান্ড বলো আর যেই জিনিসগুলা বলো, কারণ অনলাইন ছাড়া এখন আর হচ্ছে না। আমরা জানি না আমরা কোভিড থেকে আমরা কখন মুক্তি পাবো। সো অনলাইন ইজ দা এখন সবচেয়ে সেফ, সবচেয়ে বেস্ট এবং সবচেয়ে সময় মানে সাপেক্ষ একটা, সময় কম লাগবে এমন একটা ব্যাপার, সময় সাশ্রয়ী যেটাকে বলা হচ্ছে। সো অনলাইন এখন আমাদের জন্য একটা কি বলে, মানে অনলাইনে আমরা সবাই রক আর কি, এখন আমরা যারা আছি আর কি, আমরা
Absolutely. Online is the way to go, and the only place it is going is up. সব দিক থেকে
আসতে হবে, সবাইকে আসতে হবে, অনলাইনে আসতে হবে, ওয়ে নাই, আর কোনো উপায় নেই আমাদেরকে, না হলে বিজনেস বন্ধ করে চলে যেতে হবে।
Thank you so much. Jordi, would you like to add a line or two from the entire discussion?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, is that a lot of the trends that we have been seeing evolving, they are here to stay and continue that evolution. So that's the first thing. I don't think that the businesses that they are doing, it is not easy for all the businesses to actually think about how their businesses can be operating in the digital world. And obviously, I acknowledge that. That's a big set of mind, a change, and some people may think this is a huge mountain I have to be climbing, and I don't know what is going to be the result. Well, the people that start step by step moving towards that direction, they are going to be seeing the benefit, because that is what people are moving and are demanding. So yes, it may be seen as a very tough and difficult task, but it's actually not that difficult. And all of these steps done are going to be extremely beneficial for those businesses. They are going to be continuing, because now, I mean, I want to be optimistic, right? We had COVID, and I am hoping that this is going to be passing. But that's what I feel is the benefit of moving to digital is not because of COVID. It's because of how the people, the younger generation, and everyone understands digital as a way of interacting, as well as, I hope that this is also not going to be changing the way that we are interacting with businesses. I love to go to my shops. I go to talk to the people that has those businesses. Please, it doesn't have to change. But at the same time, it's a new channel. And I encourage everyone to actually explore it.
Thank you. Rohan, we have talked about a lot of things that business pages should do. very quickly, just a line or two from you. Is there anything that the business pages should avoid from your experience that you have seen?
So I wouldn't say avoid, but I would probably paraphrase it as saying test, experiment, learn, and stay long term. Right? So today for us, I don't think there's I mean, apart from following platform policies and avoiding those situations there, but I think for us it's a learning curve. Right? We will make mistakes as we go along, but the idea is how well you can adapt to those mistakes and kind of build on that, right? And I think the ability for platform like Facebook is definitely on test, experiment, learn, and stay long term. I would probably close by looking at saying just two things. One, make it easier for your customers to stay in touch with you.
Yeah.
And second
Very
thing
nice.
is keep that conversation two-way with your customers. So these are two most important things that can happen, because customer feedback can actually have a tremendous impact on the business going ahead, be it in store or be it online as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. Priceless advice.
Sorry, Don, can I just add one thing I would recommend pages not to do? It is very tempting to actually compare yourself. It is very tempting to be a business and look around about other businesses and look at the number of followers, look at the number of and how successful other pages are. This is a journey. I mean, Nusrat didn't arrive to 1 million in 3 days. She works very hard. She goes and this is a path. And I mentioned that there is no such a thing about, in 3 days you are out there and you are at the top, unless you have, budgets that are astronomical. No, we are not talking about that. For small businesses, this is a journey. And it's a journey about being yourself, be patient, talk, and you will see those results. Don't compare yourself. Just doing it as you keeping your identity, and it will come. It will come. It's hard work, and it's consistency, and it's being genuine.
Exactly.
Absolutely amazing, Jordi. Saria, any last words from you?
Yeah, I guess, when COVID hit last year in March, I actually looked at my projections and the capital I had, and I realized I would have to close really soon if my sales would continue the same way. But, what I really liked about Nusrat was, she said you just really have to, dive down and just work. You don't have to that is the only way I realized during COVID to survive for me was to expand. Which I did. And we're still doing that every day, just trying to cope with the situation. But I think if we keep at it, I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So you just have to really just keep working,
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, guys, I did a few shows under this platform. Today has been the best show for me. Some people can mind and do whatever they want, but the learning, I mean, the kind of things we talked about, the quality of the content, I think the quality of the guests we have here today, I'm sure Jordi would agree, was absolutely phenomenal, and I loved everything that you said. We talked about how we have changed our businesses to sort of change with the changing time, to adapt to the new normal, how we have digitalized our conversions, our communication with the customers. What Saria said at the very end makes total sense, that you just have to dive down and work and refocus and just have to work and get things moving. What Rohan said about being mobile, being accessible to the target audience, make it easy for the audience to communicate with you. And of course what Jordi said with the engagement, making the content really good quality, talking to the customers and not looking at the numbers, but looking at the quality of those numbers. It all makes sense. And I think it is me, as a small business owner myself, it makes a lot of sense for me. And I hope everyone who's watching here, if there are other small business owners also who are watching here, I think you would find the show and the content of the show to be highly valuable. This COVID-19 has taught us that we have to go digital, and what Nusrat said, that the only way to move now is to be digital and to adapt to the digital changes, to leverage on the different digital tools and devices and services that we have. With that thought, thank you everyone for giving us your time. Thanks to all the guests here today. Thanks to all the audiences. 600 people are watching us right now. সবাইকে ঈদের অনেক অনেক শুভেচ্ছা, ঈদ মোবারক, সবাই সুস্থ থাকবেন, ভালো থাকবেন, আসসালামু আলাইকুম, টেক কেয়ার গাইস, বাই,
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, thank you.
বাই.